afternoon, everybody. Welcome. I am Sandy Ammons. I'm the Executive Director of FTCC Foundation, and we are so excited to have you here. This has been such a well-kept secret for a while. This is a great day. We are so excited to welcome our friends from Fayetteville State University. You are part of the family. So we are thrilled to have you here. And Dr. King, surprise! Monica said she's never lied to you so much in her life. I told her that you would forgive her for sure. But this is going to be a great program. I would like to introduce Mr. Wendell Phillips from Fayetteville State University.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Good to be here. And a surprise, huh? That's a good time. Always good to be part of that. Wanted to welcome the FTCC Board of Trustees. They're in the house and acknowledge their presence. I'm gonna wave, stand. All right. Thank you. The FSU Board of Trustees members are here. You wait. That's what it's That's the difference, see? And the cabinet and deans from FTCC. You standard? All right. You all out there, you can clap. You know, the cabinet and deans of FSU. And our state elected officials, I saw Senator Deviera. Local officials, Councilman Davis, right in front of me. Thank you for being here. Our corporate partners, we have Pepsi and Aramark representatives, right on this side over here. And we've got our Board of Governors members, Governor Mike Wolford and Governor Wendell Holly, and of course, President Peter Hahn. Dr. Thomas Walker as well. I would like to introduce now someone who probably needs no introduction here, right? This is his house. Dr. Mark Sorrells, who is the Senior Vice President of Academic and Student Services at FTCC, and my colleague, Dr. Veronica Leach, Provost and Senior Vice Chancellor of Academic Affairs at FSU, to come forward.
Okay, great. Well, good afternoon. It's a great day to be a Bronco, indeed, and also on the campus of FTCC. Thank you all so much for hosting us. We are so excited to announce this partnership between Fayetteville State University and FTCC. This announcement includes us at Fayetteville State University housing a full-time academic advisor from Fayetteville State on the FTCC campus. To maximize student success and be very intentional in doing that, we hope that this partnership between academic advising, enrollment along the enrollment funnel will ensure our students have a seamless transition from FTCC to Fayetteville State University. My partner, my colleague, Dr. Sorrells will share some additional information as we've been sort of tag teaming about this amazing announcement. But please know we are excited that throughout the enrollment cycle, we'll be working through our Bronco One Stop and also through the FTCC Student Services to ensure our students are ready, workforce ready, to embody and to embark upon some careers after college. So thank you, we're so excited, right, Mark? Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Leach, and welcome to our brothers and sisters from Fayetteville State. We appreciate having you on campus. You are our neighbors. We're in this game together, and we really appreciate and are excited about joining forces with you today to forge a new strategic partnership that really will align our efforts and our resources to help the citizens of Cumberland County and the region. We are really focused on increasing both the social and economic mobility of our citizens so that we can have a vital economy here in Cumberland County and in southeastern North Carolina. Approximately 45% of our students that transfer from FTCC transfer to Fayetteville State University. We're intent on growing that number tremendously. Last fall it was 180. We're envisioning over 300 of those students transitioning across the street to our neighbor institution. Of those students that do transfer into the UNC system with an associate degree or 30 or more credit hours, we know they are succeeding at a greater than 80% rate. So we're very proud of that, but we want to make that grow. Today we're announcing this initiative not only with the Advising Center. This advisor from Fayetteville State will be co-located in our College Transfer Advising Center in Horace Sisk, where most of our college transfer courses are housed. They will be, she or he, excuse me, will be working with our success coach and our academic advisors as part of the success team to help them plan out and be successful along their economic journey. In doing so, we are also very intent on aligning our programs and pathways so that our students have clear transition from 2-year to 4-year and into career opportunities that are in high demand in our region. We look forward to enhancing this relationship with FSU and to grow an economically vital community here in Cumberland County. So thank you all for being here.
So at this time, it gives me great pleasure to introduce our 12th Chancellor, Chancellor Darrell T. Ellison.
Well, good afternoon. So, Dr. King, we've been working mighty hard, coordinating both FTCC and FSU behind the scenes. And to those of you that had to lie, we apologize. We didn't want you to have to do that, but you know, we didn't want you to have to do that, but we think we pulled it off. In my 10 months as chancellor at FSU, here's what I've observed about the Dr. Larry King. Number one, he's a gentleman. As many of you know, when I arrived in Fayetteville, I was greeted with a smattering of cheers but quite a few jeers. Dr. King was one of those first leaders who not only met with me, but he was brave enough to meet with me in public. I mean, Dr. King was eating lunch, and at the same time eating lunch, he was dodging tomatoes and beer cans along with me. And so a gentleman. Number two, Dr. King is a visionary leader. I mean, all we have to do is just kind of walk this campus and just kind of look around us, right? I have some perspective, you know, when it comes to community colleges. You know, I was born and raised in the 704 area code, and I lived in Charlotte for a period of time, and I'm familiar with CPCC, and I lived in Cary, in the Raleigh area, and I understand that many of our community colleges pull from tremendous financial resources, if we can say, and they have some significant advantages. So for my time here, and to see what I've seen, and to see what this young man has been able to do, his leadership, and what's yet to come in the months to come, it's remarkable. Because again, I have a little perspective for what I've seen across the state. And so let's just say this young whippersnapper has been taking a few notes my 10 plus months. And all that to say that when I was just hitting my little groove with Dr. Larry Keene and finding my rhythm with him, he up and announces that his return. And so I have to tell you now, a little resentment started to fill my heart. And I, along with a few leaders at FSU and FTCC, started to coordinate a plan. And how do we get to pay this guy back? This man for doing what he did to us. And for all that he's done, not only for FTCC, but for Fayetteville in this region. We're going to kick off Fayetteville State University, the FTCC King Scholarship. And we're excited about it. We're excited about it. Our university, we are excited about this, and let me share a little bit about what this entails. Next slide, please. And so you know, we're partnering for student success, and we're investing in our future. So this is a 4-year roll-in. So 2022, 2023, this fall. We're looking at 150 scholars. So what that's going to entail is, and we're working Fayetteville State University in partnership with Fayetteville Tech Community College. Our university, we're again, this is King Scholars. Now, we're going to have students that qualify. They can come to Fayetteville State University. They can transfer, that's no problem. But we're talking about King Scholars now. There's a standard. There's a standard now. There's a standard. So that standard, they'll have an associate degree, and they'll have a minimum GPA of at least 3.0. You know, meet all required admissions, and there'll be a priority given to high demand workforce majors such as nursing, business analytics, and intelligence studies, and cybersecurity. So you know, we're talking about Dr. Larry Keene here. There's a standard we're going to uphold here. So those 150 scholars here, many of you know that we've been fortunate and blessed to be grafted in here to NC Promise. So we're going to parlay that, you know, for those scholars that hit that level there, and where other students have to pay the $500 per semester to attend Fayetteville State University. For King scholars, they won't have to pay that. But those 150 scholars this fall that meet that standard, Fayetteville State University, we will be investing $150,000 for those 150 scholars coming from FTCC to FSU. The next year, we're going to the 200 scholars. It'll be $200,000 that our university will be investing for those Keen scholars coming from FTCC. Third year, 250 scholars, $250,000 that FSU will be investing in the FTCC Keen scholars. And in the fourth year, 300 scholars, $300,000. And so you see here, look here, we're talking about 4 years. We're talking roughly 900 students that would have graced our campus. FTCC, Fayetteville State University, investment in about $900,000. FTCC King Scholarship. Next slide. And then the fourth year and beyond, that level is where we want to be, maybe 300 scholars annually. That's the legacy that's been established here. So in the 10 months I have been here, this is what I've assessed. And again, I'm not just talking. I've seen community colleges and things of that nature across the state here. We have one of the best ones right here in Cumberland. We do. Now, you heard the first announcement with regard to an advisor. Fayetteville State University is paying for that advisor. They will be housed. They'll be housed here. They'll be working among you. But we're making that investment because we see value in FTCC, and we're not doing the lip service. And it be a real tangible relationship. No more of a barrier or a wall. We are one, and we are united. And the stronger FTCC is, the stronger FSU is. But here's the thing, it's not just all academic. Because I'm looking at elected officials here. You know, I'm looking at the chamber, and I'm looking at business folk here. This is the other thing that we know, that the stronger that we are together on the academic side, you know, we've got Fort Bragg, we've got business and industry that desire to be here, that want to grow here. You know, if we pull together, people want to not only be educated here, they want to live here. They want to grow their family here as well. There's a strategic role we play on the economic end. So this is the partnership. This is the tangible stuff. This is the real stuff that it's all about. And we're all in. My family's here. I'm paying taxes. Legislators, right? We're family. We're family. And the work that Dr. King has laid down and the legacy that he's put forward, we're going to take the baton and run with it here. And so we've been tickled to life, not to death, to try to work on something that's very tangible, to really tap into the talent and the brilliance of leaders here with our leaders there at Fayetteville State University. And let's see if we can't make Cumberland County in this region, let's see, make Wake and Mecklenburg shake a little bit. How about that? They ain't the only region in North Carolina. So we are excited. We are excited. Now, what I'm going to do now, because I think it's pretty fitting too, as well. So I've got Dr. King. Now, Dr. King, you're going to chat. But before you do that, you know, I got your former boss in the room here, and I got my current boss in the room here. But I thought it was pretty cool that we had UNC President Peter Hans. He marked time. Gave him a heads up. He blocked the time because he wanted to be here for his friend. And I think it's pretty special. Your former boss, my current boss, to be here. And so without further ado, Mr. President.
All of you know, Mrs. King is the only true boss. And I don't know where Lenise is. She was with us earlier. But she worked out. Okay. Thank you, Chancellor. Dr. King, well, we have known each other since you had the good sense to leave Oklahoma and come to North Carolina. It's hard to believe. 20 years. Announcing your retirement. Now, Chairman Wellens, he's not short-timing this. He's not short-timing this at all yet, is he? Okay.
That's part of the deal.
Okay, you cut a deal. I like it. Wow, Dr. King, what you have meant to the community college system throughout North Carolina, but particularly here at Fayetteville Tech. The state's third largest, arguably the best community college. thanks to your leadership, strong team around you. It's amazing what you've accomplished, my friend. I know firsthand our community colleges are home to thousands of fantastically talented North Carolinians who are eager for opportunity and ready to earn it. The Keene Scholarship Program honors their ambitions and enhances the whole state by offering a clear pathway and financial support to students who are ready to take the next step in their lives, in their careers. Now, as a transfer president, having graduated the community colleges and you sent me on to the university, I know what it means to foster greater partnership between the community colleges and the universities, something I've committed a great deal of my life to. And this joint effort between Fayetteville Tech and Fayetteville State, great example of how thoughtful, committed leadership, along with generous support, can make a real difference in the lives of our students and the trajectory of our state. Man, because the fact is North Carolina is growing and it's becoming more diverse. This is a good and healthy thing. We need nurses and tech specialists and data wizards who can help grow our economy and improve the quality of our life for their fellow citizens. And that can only happen when our educational systems work seamlessly to deliver on the core promise of opportunity for all. And if we stand for anything, let us stand for that. In public education and higher education, let us stand for that. Chancellor Allison, you're off to a great start, my friend. Dr. King, you keep mentoring them, please. Come on up, give us some words of wisdom.
This is the linest bunch I've ever been around. And it starts off with my lovely wife over there. I asked her this morning when I was getting ready, I said, what's the temperature supposed to be like today? She said about 72 degrees or so, and I said, great. I said, well, this might be one of those days. I don't think I have anything that's major on the agenda. And so I think I might just wear my polo shirt and a sport coat. She said, well, you might want, you never know what you're going to run into. And so next thing I know, I'm putting stays in the collar and so forth and so on and getting ready. And true story. I mean, I thought, well, maybe I'll dress up today, but I can kind of be semi-normal, and not. And so I just went ahead and put on this outfit. And, like we always have, we have some mornings that are more exciting than others, and this was an exciting one today. And so, got to be right. You are the worst of them all. You told me I had a meeting, and where's Monica? At 11:30. And so I'm waiting over there at 11:30, and I said, well, Mark's not here. He doesn't normally miss these things. David Sullivan's standing back there. Everybody better thank David Sullivan because I was on the way home to have lunch. And so I wondered what was going on. He was jumping around there and he says, I think you've got a 12:30 meeting. I said, I don't have a 12:30 meeting on my, I pulled my phone out and checked. Sure enough, I didn't have a 12:30 meeting. And then I'm saying, what in the world's going on? And then Monica came back in. And I said, you put me on for an 11:30 meeting here, and you should have seen her dancing, It was really interesting. So, but I'll tell you, I am so grateful. This beautiful lady over here that I've been with, why do I do that? I always get myself in trouble. We've known each other 56 years. We've been married 53 years. Is that right? We met on a blind date after being in Oklahoma for 2 weeks, and I was ready to go back to Florida, my home state. I met her, and she kept me out there for 34. And so then we had a good privilege to come to North Carolina. And two other wonderful people I want to address over here. My youngest granddaughter, Brianna Keene, and her older sister, Caitlin Keene, are out in Raleigh or Cary somewhere today on a truck driving contest or something with FFA or something. I don't know what it is, but please stand and be recognized. This young lady, freshman at Fayetteville High School, I love her dearly, and she's. Can you imagine being a freshman and being a state champion tennis player? She accomplished that this year. I'm so proud of her. And then my daughter-in-law, we had two boys that we loved dearly. And stand up, Jessica. I'm the reason that I have grandchildren. Well, I guess that's true, partly true. Well, don't take it that way. Only you would take it that way. But I met her. My son was going to the Navy to be a Navy SEAL, and I said, "What do you want to do before you go in?" Because, as you know, it's intense. And so he said, "I'd like to spend a little time in Las Vegas." And I said, "Okay." So we went out there and we spent 3 or 4 days. I hate Las Vegas. I don't like Las Vegas, but I did it for him. And so the only thing that's been of any value to me in Las Vegas is that we were leaving, and I sat down waiting for them. Vicki was off playing the slots. She actually wins. I don't, so I don't play. But she was off playing slots, and I sat down. I looked across the way, and it's a beautiful young lady with a tennis bag eating a Cinnabon, and I kind of watched her there. She was just kind of in her own world doing her thing, and I finally looked at her and I said, she looked at me and smiled. She's got a beautiful smile. You can't see it because of that mask over there, but is the appropriate word face covering now? I still call it a mask. I mean, they used to arrest us in Oklahoma if we wore those things around any places. But I looked at her and I said, "You've got 1 or 2 things in that tennis bag." I said, "It's either a tennis racket or a Tommy gun. Which is it?" And she started laughing. And then my son came over there and sat down beside me, and he looked over, he had his hat on and so forth. We're about to get on the airplane. They started talking. They haven't stopped talking. And part of the reason is that this young lady over here and her sister in Cary right now doing her thing. I'm the luckiest man in the world. It's because these people I love. Somebody said it so well sometimes. Sometimes you're born into a family, but it's the family you create along the way that you add to. And I've been given the good fortune to work with people that I truly love. They are my family. People here are my family as well. And some of them related by blood, but some related by soul, and some related by purpose, and some related by simply the work that we all do together. My Board of Trustees, would you stand, please? Those of you that are here, they're not all here, but please stand. And our trustees over at and Board of Governors over at the university, I want to tell you something. They give us the freedom to do the things that we do, and without that, we couldn't function. I am so grateful for the recognition you're giving us, and more importantly, the recognition and the support that those students are going to receive. But I'll tell you, it's only through great friends that things like that happen. With my staff, please stand. There's no one person that does all this. Please stand. I get to be up front and do that a lot and so forth, and I'm grateful for it. But the real truth, and you all know it, is that the people that do the real work day in and day out are the people that are on the ground doing this leadership and this work. My great friends here in the legislative bodies and the county commissioners, I love you dearly. We couldn't do what we do without you. And then when I have, these great friends over here, I told you not to go to the university system. You didn't listen to me. But I want to tell you, I was hired by H. Martin Lancaster to come to North Carolina whenever I came. I love Martin Lancaster to death. Now, he's tough, he'll tell you. People here have met him, and I love him for who he is and what he does. He's done some great things. And we've had a number of others that have come and filled that role, and there's no one that's done it any better than this man right here, Peter Hans, and he's done a great job. I really mean that. And one of my good friends used to be a president over here. You stole him from us to include our chief financial officer. You're smarter than I thought you were. Now you see why I stay in trouble most of the time. But the truth of the matter is, he's a great person who can identify character and expertise and motivation and passion enough to get the job done. My good friend used to be a former president over here at Wayne Community College, is now with him, and I'm not going to forgive him for stealing you away from us, but you've not stolen us away from us. You know, it's just another connection to that university system that's so important. Darrell Allison, whenever he came to Fayetteville, North Carolina, and Cumberland County, as you know, and I told Chancellor Allison when I first met him, I said, I do things one way. I recognize the situation, I embrace it, and I bring it to me, and I try to use that energy to direct it in the direction we need to go. And I've told him some things, some of it probably not worth a whole lot. But I want to tell you something, of all the people that I've met in my career in 2 states, very intimately so. This man has the passion, he has the desire, he has the intellect, he has the insights, and he's not afraid to take a reasonable chance. And I'll forever be appreciative to you for that. You can lie like a dog. I mean, but the truth is, I thought we were, supposed to, they told me about some kind of thing at some date. I've been wandering around here thinking that, it was sometime in the future or something like that. I had no earthly idea that this was coming today. And but I want to tell you something. I'm so grateful for each of you and your presence here. I go out to Billy Wellens Pond every now and then, and I fish. And when I can do that, and it's once in a while, he chews on me. It's not frequently enough. But I just love being out there. When I have the privilege of seeing him, knowing the quality of the people that we have to work with day in and day out, it means something to me. Because at the end of the day, I love the people we serve. Now stop and think about what I'm saying for a minute. It is literally one of those situations where we take every curler. Senator Deviere, we take everyone that comes to us. It doesn't matter who they are, where they came from, what their issues are, what the circumstances are. We take every single one of them. And we do the things that we're established upon. That's take people where they are and take them as far as we can go. You just offered an opportunity, and I could not be more honored. I've never been as honored with something like as I have been with this. And I've got a career that spans about 50-some years in education. I started in about 1970-something. What? 71, okay. I'm glad I didn't miss that wedding anniversary a while ago. I started in 1971. I've had the privilege of seeing a lot of great things, a lot of things work beautifully in a lot of different ways. I've been in the boardrooms of kings and queens. I've been in the offices of international major bankers doing deals on behalf of the educational piece of a much bigger picture in economic development. I've been privileged in so many ways as a young kid whose father left him before he was born, and a mother that wouldn't abort me or wouldn't do anything like that. She cared enough and loved enough to exhibit that not only on me but others. Every single day, all of us, you and me, and everybody represented in here, we have an opportunity to serve somebody who needs desperate help. That's what we're about. That's why I love the community college system. I've served at the university system. You didn't know I taught at the university system, did you? You didn't know I was an administrator at the university system. I was. Oklahoma State Cowboys, go Pokes. But the point being is that there are no organizations that I'm aware of that will take people in those early days and help nurture and guide and create opportunities for them through education. No one does it better than we do. And the ones that really work extremely well are when the people are on a first name basis. I called him. He probably doesn't remember what I told him. I mean, you were getting shots from every direction. I said, just love them through it. And to my friends, many of you, you'd ask me, well, how's he doing? I said, he's doing great. Just give him a chance. Just give him a chance. And that's what he is You know, it is one of those things to where I consider myself to be honored. I've got a great family, and there's nothing that I would be able to enjoy, do, or treasure without their love and their care, and I get that every single day. Sometimes Vicki gets a little perturbed with me. You don't ever have that problem, do you? I didn't think so either. But she gets a little perturbed with me, but she's always been there. When I accepted the job in North Carolina at the system office as the Vice President for Economic and Workforce Development, she had never stepped foot in the state of North Carolina. She was a very responsible place, a bank holding company that had banks in 4 states and growing. And she was the one that made all that happen from a personnel perspective. And I said, it's going to demonstrate one of 2 things. Either we have a strong marriage or I'm going to be divorced in about 3 weeks. And it didn't happen. She's still here going strong. My point being, and my sons and my daughter and my granddaughters, you know, are so dear to me. I mean, they're my world. But so are you. So are you. We embraced each other when I walked in. I don't embrace too many senators out there, but I embrace you. You know, I do embrace other senators as well. I was with Glenn Adams the other day as chair of the commissioners, and he asked me a question, and I told him, and I shot a big number at him. He didn't even blink because he knows it's possible. Because of great people like her in this room and others, it can be done. So Chancellor Allison, thank you for your generosity and your kindness. I cannot tell you how much this means to me, but I can tell you this. It means everything to me. It's recognition of 2 people trying to do the things that are right, and it goes so far beyond you and me. There's so much more to be done, because somewhere out there somebody needs our help, and this gives them a pathway to greater opportunity than they ever thought they could accomplish. Peter Hans, you, and Thomas Stitt and others throughout our entire systems, we work so closely together in so many ways. I don't ever know, I can't ever remember in anywhere in the UNC system or the Oklahoma system for that matter that I've seen this done. Not for a sitting president. And I appreciate you for it. And more importantly, I appreciate you for the students that we're going to serve and the students that are going to take the opportunity that you've presented here and take them to a greater future for themselves and their family and our respective communities. So God bless you. I thank you. And I thank you for being here. I don't get to see you much. I told you you're going to have to work when you went over there. And he was all over the state when he was working with us. I mean, crying out loud. But he's a great leader, doing great things. And for the Board of Governors members that are here today, we appreciate you so much. We've got a lot to do together. The job's not over. We've got so much more to do. There's so much to be done in a short period of time. And I think any time we waste time, we fail to serve people who are the real purpose for which we do everything anyway. Billy Wellens, members of my Board of Trustees that are here, I appreciate you so much. Charles Kuntz, my wife is scared to death I'm going to go out and buy an airplane so that we can go flying. That might happen. I haven't quite given up on that yet. She tells me to go fish in Billy's pond. And Esther Thompson, you are wonderful. We have been everywhere together. We've done everything together in a lot of different ways. And when you take that expertise, that insight, and that value that can add so much to the trustees that govern us in so many ways, I'm so appreciative of you and your colleagues that do the work. And for my leaders that are represented here, and that includes the people from FSU. If my wife knew how many of you women out there from FSU that I hugged, it's a little harder for me to do that at FTCC now, but I hug men and women. I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, I came from the South. That's in our culture. And so, but I'm so appreciative of you. And we do so many things together that we'll continue to do together as we move forward. And Billy Wellens, again, you and your colleagues that are here, thank you so much for being here. You've been an inspiration. He was this guy over here, and I think Charles Kuntz, you were here. You were on the board that hired me. And some of you saw the article when I made my announcement the other day with Bill Kirby and some of the comments made about some of the other trustees that were on there. I kept trying to figure this guy out. I said, there's that guy, I think he had cowboy boots on, blue jeans, and a sports coat. And I said, that's my kind of guy. But he's one of those guys that sits back there and you know there's a lot behind the windshield, just not sure what. And I figured it out, and I'll guarantee you in the last 15 years, I've seen that he and his colleagues have a lot to offer. And they do every single day because they trust us enough to do it. We trust each other between Fayetteville State University and FTCC, and that trust is even going to grow to a higher level. I'm so appreciative of all of our people out here doing this work and doing this work consistently well, that I appreciate you doing the things that you do. So without further ado, you know, I heard one time said you never offer a president and expect him to speak 5 minutes or less. That won't happen. I mean, you never met a microphone they don't love, right, Kirk? And so at any rate, I'd just like to express my appreciation to both of you for being here. It really means something to me that you took time out of a very busy schedule to be here. For our Board of Governors members that are here, same to you. I know how busy you folks are, and I'm so grateful to you all for what you do. And for my Board of Trustees, same things. For our political leaders here, you guys do so many great things for this community. You don't always get appropriate credit for it, but we thank you. And just as importantly, everybody else that's represented here, I know you could be doing other things, but thank you for taking the time. And I'm going to have to evaluate you on your lying as we come up. You know, I had one of our people yesterday I evaluated. Is she in here today? She's probably holding down the fort. But the point being, if there's ever going to be a lie, thank God that it helps people. And there are good lies and bad lies. This was a heck of a good lie. And so, thank you. God bless you. Thank you so much.
So as Dr. King said, Fayetteville Tech is blessed with a fantastic board. And at this time, I'd like to call Mr. Billy Wellens, Jr. To the podium to make a few comments. Mr. Wellens.
Good afternoon, everybody. What a pleasure and an honor to even be asked to say something, because it's not difficult. First of all, Larry's always called me his boss. Well, today I'm gonna be your boss, and I'm gonna say, before you turn in any evaluation to anybody, I want them to run by me first. Then we'll see how far the lies go, okay? I've been on this board about 16 years now, and it's really, I've been on a lot of boards, but honestly, I tell my wife, it's the last board that I'm on. It's the last board I'm gonna be on. And this guy and I made a deal together that we'd go out together. So my term expires pretty soon after his does, but it has been an honor and a pleasure, because I've said this before, so some of you will have heard this, but I was one of these guys that was a businessman in town and run a lot of businesses, and I ride up and down these roads, and the funny thing is, I actually was an educator. My dad did not get an education, but the one thing he liked, he wanted me to get an education. So against all adversarial issues, I got an education. I went to NC State and graduated there, and I taught school for 2 years. I was a guidance counselor and taught economics. But at the end of that 2 years, I called my dad up one day and I said, look, man, I can't make enough money teaching school to live like I want to live. I need a job. So I do have compassion, and the 15 years that I have been here, I understand what educators are. It's not about the money. And I used to ride up and down these roads in Fayetteville. I'm from Dunn originally. So I knew FTCC was a place, but I didn't really know anything about it. It was nice buildings, and now it's a lot bigger thanks to trustees, Larry King, senators, legislators, and all the dignitaries that help us do these things that are possible. And so I've watched, and Chancellor, what a great thing. Man, they can't nobody say anything bad about you anymore. You're a man. I read all the articles, I read all the newspapers, but see, I'm the same kind of guy. Give the man a chance, you know? And I don't think you have to be, I've got where, as being an older man in life, I used to hire people that I thought knew a job. Now I'm gonna hire the personality of the man. I'm gonna teach him to do the job. Honestly, that's what we're about here. We're about taking people that are dropouts. They've worked in life. They've gotten mature. They've gotten a family. And they said, wow, I gotta be better. So the community college system provides that to people. I was involved, I got to know Peter before he became the president of the university system. I was on the executive board of the trustees of the state. And so for 15 years, I've been indoctrinated with education. And what education is all about is the student. And I applaud every person in here because you have the compassion and the patience to work with the student to make them a success. Because we have so many people today, as they get older, it's hard to go back to school. I mean, for me to do my continuing education in the construction business, in the real estate business, and all the things we have to do, if I actually had to take a test at the end of that seminar, I don't know that I could do very well. So, to follow on with the man we're talking about, I was on the search committee that hired Larry King, and we had 31 applicants for this job. And we narrowed it down to 6. We did personal interviews of all of them. And honestly, he was the last one. And I had made up my mind of who our next president was going to be before he came there. But when he sat down and we interviewed Dr. King, all my thoughts went elsewhere and went to him. Because I saw a man with compassion. I saw a man that had leadership abilities. I saw a man that was really smart. And didn't have the ego to throw it in your face. He's a real man. He's a doctor, he's an educator, and he's the president of this community college. And he could be the president of any university because he has the ability to put a team around him to succeed. And that's what business people do. I work hard every day to get the best people that I can to work for me to help us be successful. And this team is, I got to go to the county commissioners as a trustee here, and I got to ask you for your help. And we have never gone because of this man right here. He's trusted. So we got a big job to follow to bring in the next president. And hopefully we will find that person with that compassion and that leadership for the student and as well as the staff, because you've got to treat all those people like this. And that's what Larry King does. And yes, it's nice to see him come out to my farm in a pair of blue jeans and get his fishing pole out of that back of his truck and go out there and sit on the edge of that pond, and he relaxes, but he's a good fisherman too. And he cooks the brim that he catches. So it has been a pleasure for me as a Board of Trustee member and all of our trustees. It's been a pleasure to work with Larry because it's one of the few jobs I've ever had that I didn't really have to manage the man that was doing the job. And because you trusted him, he is trustworthy. And what this school has done in the 15 years that we've been here, it is amazing. We have been entrepreneurs. We have been a business in this school as well as taught people. We got kids that are going to 12 and 16-week classes that are graduating and making $50,000 to $75,000 a year starting out. I mean, we've created new programs. We are a vision, and it's all because of the people in our legislature that has helped us with the money that we can do to do the job. And when you have the money to do the job, then when you have the ability to go put the people around you to do the job, which this man has been able to do, and we've had a Board of Trustees who let him do his job, because honestly, I can tell you, we are the best community college in this state. When we go to places, I go to these national events that we have in the community college system, and I sit at these round tables and I listen to the squabbles and the bickering of the trustees. You know, Peter, that all these people have with each other, and I walk out of there and I said, man, I ain't going there. We have never had that. Fortunately, we've never had any trustees who had an agenda, and that's what a lot of people do. They get agendas, but it's so great to see, to me, in the last 5 years, a teamwork that Cumberland County and the city of Fayetteville has never seen before. We see a combining and coming together of our city council. We see a combining and coming together of our county commissioners. We see a combining and coming together of our legislative officers. And a lot of it is bipartisan, and I'm telling you, that's the way we get things done. If everybody could sit down at a table and talk about things and begin to imagine what it would be to be, let's move forward. I'm gonna give you a little bit, you give me a little bit. The thing is, we want to move forward and not be a standstill. This is what this community college has done. And what they've done in collaboration with Fayetteville State University, I got a good friend of mine that's doing right now the 3-year, the 2 years here, the 3-year, getting a course and to get their education. They'll end up with 2 degrees. They're gonna, hopefully, they're 50 years old. That is amazing that we can do that in our society today. And we do it because of people like you and you and you. So, I mean, thank you to you and to all of you. And Larry King, that's a hell of a scholarship, man. That means you're worth $1 billion. Wow, that's pretty good. Thank you all very much.
I guess they let me finish it up. But let me do this first because I was on at a meeting with Mayor Copeland this morning, and he had somewhere else to be today. But he says there's always a ram in the bush, so I will call on Councilman Chris Davis to give a few remarks for the city of Fayetteville before I finish.
Thank you so much, Chair, Commissioner, lawyer, and everything else you do. Thank you so much. Thank you all for allowing me to just say a few words on behalf of the city of Fayetteville. Dr. King, today, and I'll say to everybody, today has been really amazing for me to see 2 institutions so committed to the veterans. I'm a veteran, my family's here, a lot of my family's in the Army right now, and these 2 institutions are transformational in life for veterans who get out of the military and who are still in the military to further their education. And it's obvious that you've had a lasting impact on our community. I'm in my first term of council, but I now more than ever value the relationships of these 2 institutions to this community. And I'm committed as a council member to do whatever I can to continue. You know how I feel about you, Chancellor. I agree, give the man a chance. And from what I've seen, Fayetteville State, Fayetteville Tech, you guys are on the right path. And whatever I can do to help the city push it forward, we're committed to it. Congratulations, sir. Thank you for your service.
And I do see the Mayor Pro Tem of Hope Mills, Kawanda McCray here. Welcome. We try to take care of each other as elected officials, so you never know where we're going to be. But I'm going to tell you, I was sitting there and I pulled out, they gave me an agenda. And on this agenda said Larry King was going to speak for 10 minutes. And I said, I don't know who in the world would ever put together an agenda that said Larry King is going to speak for 10 minutes. So I don't know where that was. That's a lie. That was a big lie with that. But President Hahn, welcome to Cumberland County. Thank you for coming here. Always got to take care of people who got the money that can send it down here to Fayetteville State. So we learned some things. I got my board of governors here who can see all of this going. I got my fellow trustees here. John McFadden's here. I didn't see any of the other ones. But I do have a unique opportunity. Because of Dr. King and Mr. Wellens, and we're the Board of Trustees of Fayetteville Tech. They made me an honorary trustee of Fayetteville Technical Community College. Every time they ask them to stand up, I stand up. So thank you all so very much for that. So I come from the Fayetteville Tech side. And then I got Mike Williford over here, who we practiced law for a long time together, asked me if I wanted to be on the Board of Trustees at Fayetteville State. And so I'm now the chairman of the Board of Trustees at Fayetteville State. To say all of that is because of what we do. We had a conversation from the county last week with Dr. King. We had one with Chancellor Allison. Because what we want people to understand in this community that these universities work together. We also talked to Methodist College, but it is and the school system, the K through 12, because it doesn't stop. Education doesn't start at kindergarten, and it doesn't stop through community college or through the university system. It's a lifetime that you keep on doing your education. But from that, though, it shows you the collaboration what can happen. So I'm speaking now from the standpoint of a commissioner, because both of these institutions have made this a better community. It has provided opportunities for our citizens that are here. And I think Mr. Wellens was right when he says that, nobody's here from Golden Leaf. I don't know, you hear Dr. Hunt, but if you see Dr. King come up, you know you better hold on to your wallet and hold on to your checkbook, because he's never met a program or anything that he doesn't believe in. And he comes to the county. He comes to the county to ask for money. But I will tell you, a lot of people come to the county and ask for money. But nobody comes prepared, and we know that ask is what they need. It's no embellishment into it. It's not over the top. And because he knows how to call each one of y'all's name, y'all know that, right? I learned that from Dr. King, is when you speak, people like to hear the name called my name up there. So Kirk, how you doing today? But anyway, he usually gets what he wants from the county commissioners, but he's a visionary. He sees things that can be, not how they are. And even in the conversation we had last week, we talked about some things, and he did ask me for about $3.5 million last week. I didn't blink, but I was like, okay, I don't know what about that. Oh, that's right, it was 300 million. See, look at that. See how I blacked out on that when he told me? He did say 300 million. I thought you forgot, so. You didn't forget, did you? But it's the vision. It's what he believes we can be. And this morning we were over at Fort Bragg, and Chancellor Allison was talking about Cumberland County. But what I tell everybody, and I yell it from the rooftops, that this is the gateway to southeastern North Carolina. And that's what Cumberland County and Fayetteville ought to be, the gateway to southeastern North Carolina. Everything should flow through Fayetteville and Cumberland County when you're coming down to this part of the state. But it's only able to do that because of each of you in this room, and because of these gentlemen that are sitting here who have the vision to be able to do that. So I'm going to lead with this. Billy Wellens said that Dr. King was a $1 million man. Came up a little short, 900,000. So Billy Wellens is going to get the other 100,000. So Chancellor, add that 100,000, and now we got the $1 million man, Dr. Larry. Oh, and I wasn't in, so y'all don't finish now. But, so Dr. Sherman's going to come up and tell you that, but it is the end.
So that concludes our program today. Announcement. We do appreciate all that Dr. Keene has given to not only the family here at FTCC, but the vision he's laid out for the partnership with Fayetteville State and all he's done for Cumberland County and the state of North Carolina. So thank all of you for being here today.